This is something that Jeff said he can justify. And I don't want to. All right. Okay. So I got lion's mane. Oh, nope, I got oyster mushroom there. I'm going to be using that. This is lion's mane. Okay, so that will go here. And this is lion's mane. Okay, so lion's mane going to master's mix. And then oyster mushroom to grain substrate. So I'll need my scissors. All right, I clean the table, impulse heat sealer, get the fan going here. Okay. I sterilized this last night. So it's had time to cool a little bit. I think I got five master's mix bags for the oyster mushrooms to go into. I think I've got 3 grain bags. I should be writing all this stuff down. I'm neurotically sterilizing. In fact, this was that bag. All right. I'll fire up the infrared thing for when I work with the agar dishes. This thing, I'm going to set it. I had it at 5. I'm going to put it at around 6. A little bit more. Gives it a nice seal. The pressure is on here. Let's see if I can get a good system going. Maybe I'll get more out here because I want to just kind of flow. All right, yeah, so those numbers look about right. I got 5 of these. Okay, hopefully I don't have too much out now. All right, laminar flow hood is cooking. Okay, so we'll just get that like that. All right, so I'm going to be taking the lion's mane. This is colonized rye grain berries. This will be going into the master's mix substrate. And then I'll be putting it into behind the laminar flow hood, I have an incubation chamber to colonize for the red. This is my grow tent right here. This is coming from the humidifier. So I have 2 bags in there right now, and I also have a bucket of oyster mushrooms that I'm working on. So this has been clean, this is clean. All right, so let's begin. I'll try to keep it in front of the flow hood. Okay. All right. So I'm actually gonna, it's pretty broken up. I might just try to pour it in. Don't quote me on this technique. That's a good amount. I'm going to go a little more. That'll colonize pretty quickly. That's a good amount. All right, and we will try the sealer here. Let's check the gander. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. All right, so I might put it just a little bit hotter, just for good measure. All right, so I feel confident about that one. Staying clean. I'll put it over there for the time being. Get my petri dishes over here. Okay. Let's get another bag of Masters mixed substrates. This is soy hulls and oak pellets, about 50-50. It's pretty universally recognized as a mushroom fruiting substrate. Okay. All right, that's a lot. I could be overdoing it, but the thing was, I ordered bags and then they didn't show up, so I had kind of a backlog of substrates. So I'm trying to move through this stuff. I even had one in the fridge just to slow it down, try to get it to chill out. All right, so a bit of a sizzle there. I almost think I burned it. Yeah, so that might be, I'm gonna actually cool it down. I think 6 is my my happy number. I don't want to like, although that worked. All right, I almost kind of want to keep this guy in the flow hood area. It would be nice. I mean, they sell them a little bit bigger, but that's what I'm working with right now. I'll do the, I'll be going from petri dishes to rye grain in a little while. So, yeah, it's really a lot about workflow. I kind of just need to know I have all the materials, because essentially I'll have grain spawn going, bulk substrate being colonized, fruiting, flush 1, fruiting, flush 2. It's all, I'll have sterilization kind of going and ultimately have it at, holy shit, okay, excuse my language. And see, that might be a bit much. It was advised to me to go 5 pounds. No, I think that'll work just fine. That'll be a lot though, but that will break up the remaining. So yeah, that doesn't have quite the sizzle like it had before. And yet a quality seal is achieved. So I will, just to get these guys out of the way, I'm gonna move them. I'm gonna move them back here. Oh, my back hurts. Okay. Oh gosh, it's like washing dishes. So I'm gonna have more than I need. In fact, I'm gonna open this bag up. Maybe should have started with that one. Let's see what else I got. Two more, okay. Yeah, efficiencies are getting there. So I did get rid of some bulk substrate this morning that was kind of spent, I should say spent substrate. And that was my first batch, but I didn't have free air exchange dialed in, nor did I have consistent humidity levels. So the lion's mane was coming out a little odd. So, but I do now have, the tent is pretty dialed in. The tent's pretty dialed in, so I feel pretty confident. I've got oyster mushroom buckets going on in there, and that'll be video worthy. That'll be pretty. I'm also gonna do, so I got blue oyster on the plates, and I think I'll do two of the rye grain bags, similar to this, that are still in the pressure steam sterilizer. Blue oyster. One will be Reishi. I've got a Reishi bag. I'm talking too much, let me see. I got a Reishi bag in the incubation chamber, and what I'm finding is that the mycelium with Reishi mushrooms is like, I'm gonna dose it there. So that's quite a bit by anyone's standard, or I think. Right, and so then the goal is that I'll have enough. Here, let me seal it and then I'll show you. I have a habit of overfilling bags. Yes, all these need to be mixed. I have a habit of overfilling bags and then I don't get the wrap. Oh yeah, I was gonna show you. So I'm gonna have to mix this, but essentially I'll wrap it, when it's fruiting, I'll wrap it so then it can rest on top of itself. It'll close up that filter patch. I'll make 2 slits. Well, I'm trying the 2 slits. I could do 1 slit, depending on the mushroom, I guess. And then it'll fruit out of there. Here, I'll show you one that I got. Well, I wish I had one that was fruiting, you know. Shucks. But next time, essentially this guy's been set up to fruiting. I got 2 slits here in the front. This was an overfill, so when I wrapped the bag, I had to tape the bottom to keep it sealed up. And so like I said, this is the first time that I've had the grow tent rocking here with free air exchange and consistently high humidity. So I cleaned the tent today. That was something. So 90 minutes at 15 psi was the sterilization period here. So I'm very confident that these are clean. I do my best. Okay. After this, I'll really put myself on the spot and I'll have to clean up my mess. Good Lord. Oh my goodness. Come on, just give me. Oh, what am I doing? Well, it's the end of the road here. I gotta just give me a little bit. Oh, I'm just not getting the pour that I want. There we go. That's a ton. Okay, so clearly I'm not the most ballerina with this whole thing, but whenever like sterilization, whenever like cleanliness is paramount, I get kind of fidgety. Click. Okay, so I'm going to delay myself now, but essentially I will have to mix these up. Here, well, what the hell, I'll do it. This one's like 50-50 practically. So, more often than not, when I get it into the incubation chamber, let me see. Oh, my back, okay. Especially with lion's mane, it'll go straight to the surface and I'll have a lot of substrate that isn't colonized, and then it'll be right on the top, and then I almost feel like I have to move it into the, so I'm not trying to be mean here to it, but I definitely kind of want to work it down. My experience, I don't know what the professionals say, but my experience is, if I can really not only diversify the rye grain, the colonized rye grain in here, but also get it a little bit on the lower side. So that's a nice mixed bag. I'll do maybe the rest a little bit here. It's kind of, so feel pretty confident, with those seals and that filter patch to keep them. Look at this disaster. Oh my goodness. Okay, so just give me a second. Okay, clean table. I compost all this. I think it's like, it'll make good, it's got to make pretty good soil here. Okay, so let me clean my hands again real quick. Things could get complicated. Yeah. Oh wow, a little. All right, so these are sterilized rye grains. This is kind of and I've got two of the original Petri dishes that I purchased. I'd like to get into slants. It would be cheaper, but as I scale up. But I mean, I've got two good lion's mane bags in there. What did I just make? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. So that'll be 7. I'm gonna have 7 fruiting bags of lion's mane, which I did pretty well before in suboptimal conditions. So we're moving in the right direction. So I just wanted to maximize these two guys. I was kind of concerned that I would contaminate them, but yeah, so this is, what do I got here? All right, yeah, so this is the Reishi, which is a beautiful mycelium. But it grows so slow, I mean, like I got a bag of Reishi in there. I'll show you that. And, oh Lord, everything's on top of it. Oh my goodness. Didn't think that through. Okay, coming. So this is the Reishi, and it's been in there a while. Now the mycelium looks really healthy and cottony like that, but it's such a slow colonizer. So I'm gonna get one more bag going, but I'm anticipating like 6 weeks, you know? I mean, I'm gonna be, golly. Hold on, God, if I dump those off the edge. Just go back in there. Oh, golly, okay. I'm okay. Everything's okay. So, oh, I need to plug this in and heat it up. I would argue that this is one of the more This is the one tool that I have. Boy, do I need to remind myself not to leave it on. So it's an infrared thing. I've been using this same scalpel-like doodad. It gets so hot. Get everything in front of the laminar flow hood. It's almost scorching. So you have to let it cool, or you wave it around in the air. But that kind of defeats the purpose, because then you're just waving it around in contaminated air. I use a lot of parafilm for sealing and resealing petri dishes. And so, yeah, like I said, this is the Reishi. I only need one of these bags. Will do for Reishi. And then I'll do 2 more for the blue oyster. I have a blue oyster bucket. Well, I'll show you that. Let's make it a thing, huh? So I'm breaking all my cardinal rules here. I'm kind of waving stuff around, but that's kind of the point. So this is my blue oyster bucket. It hasn't started coming out yet, but you can definitely see the mycelium coming through the holes. So unlike down here, so this is alder. This is blue oyster mycelium growing on alder. So this will start flowing out, I'm hoping. In fact, I'm pretty confident. But when, I'm gonna say in the next 5 days I should start seeing pinning. It's gonna be wild. It'll just be blowing out, and with consistent humidity and consistent free air exchange going on in the tent. I cleaned it this morning, so that's good. And this thing will get kind of, I can almost smell it. Okay, so let me get ready. Oh gosh, there's like some sitting water in the thing. I have a pressure steam sterilizer, 75 quart, I'm pretty proud of it, that I use to clean, like I said earlier, 90 minutes, 15 PSI. The contents of these bags are completely sterilized. I was able to put the alder in there for the blue oyster mushrooms too. So blue oyster mushroom mycelium, super fast colonizer. Booyah. Reishi, it takes its sweet time, holy moly. So I'm starting to feel a little, okay, so let's get this going here. I'm ripping off the parafilm. What do I got here? So this is the Reishi. So I'm only going to do 1 bag of this. So what I did originally was I transferred, I took a lot of outer plate samples and move them to, I made 5 more plates of Reishi out of this, and I made 5 more plates of blue. So I've got those in the wings as well. But for this, I just need 1 more from this guy. I'll wrap it again. I'm trying to be as efficient as possible. And like I said, if I can get to doing slants, that will be the ultimate. That'll be a culture bank. I'll be official by that point. That if I'm doing slants, if anybody does slants, they're legit. Like that's laboratory style. I think I'm making more of it than it is, but still. So I mixed these with some gypsum. I soaked them. And then I got put them in some water, brought it to a boil. I got the surface moisture to evaporate. Put it in these cultivation bags here. Okay. Yeah, this is feeling hot. All right, so I'm going to turn it down to 1. This thing, it's nice, but it's hard to. So essentially, I'm going to hold it in front of the fan and try to let it cool a little bit. I'll just burn the stuff here. So the Reishi mycelium is just stunning. I'll show it to you again. Like I shouldn't just be waving stuff around, but and this I kind of went at it a while back, and now I mean, here I go waving it around. But look at how gorgeous that looks. I've never seen mycelium look like this. It's just stunning. Just stunning. So you can see the rhizomorphs going on it. I'm not a complete know-it-all here, but essentially I work from the edges because that's kind of like where the most prevalent growth is at. God, this thing is scorched. So I'm gonna, and then just common, like, you know, for the most part, this is the most equipment I've ever had. Back in the day, I would just, you know, take a shower, and that was about it, and like, and then like hold my breath. That was like that was my cleaning strategy. Like, you know, I'll just kind of, I'll put the mouth, oh crap, well, I'll put the mouth of the bag opening in front of the fan. This will be in front of the fan. Sometimes less is more when it comes to sterilization, but I will. I get a little neurotic, but I have a pretty good. I rarely get contamination issues. I think, yeah. Well, speaking to that, I ate lion's mane. It's just delicious. You know, to be honest, I didn't really have a lot of culinary experience with the mushroom. I put half of it in the air fryer. I put half of it on the skillet. I added some paprika, pepper, a little bit of olive oil, gave it a little bit of a sear, a little bit of color, and the texture and the flavor was awesome. You know, so. And the reason I'm doing this too is, okay, so Sitka, Alaska, I mean, like, we are arguably the most expensive place to buy food in the United States as a whole, including lower 48. So this is dire, you know, and like, and we'll get like oyster mushrooms every once in a while in the grocery store, but it's like, oh, I can kind of tell it's been on a boat for a while. And it's like, they look nice, but it's a lot of like, I mean, I'm gonna blow them out of the water. And then House Bill 251 was signed last August by our governor. And basically, I can sell something like mushrooms, which is considered like a low contamination risk thing. Here, so let's do this. Let's make some waves. All right, so I'm gonna embarrass myself a little bit because I don't, but I'm gonna take it off the edges here. right? I've always made little triangles, and I don't know why. I think I just saw somebody do it like that. And then I'm going to hope to kind of drop it in. Okay. Whew. All right. But I can sell mushrooms, in theory, to the farmer's market, to the grocery stores, to restaurants. I don't even need licensing. I'm currently in my garage. I don't need an inspection. And then the idea then would be too that I could show people how I'm doing it on YouTube, and then that will put their mind at ease that I'm not just, well, hopefully it'll put their mind at ease, or it'll but yeah, it's called like the Free Food Act or something like that. But, so, you know, let's see. This is Reishi. It's a slow colonizer. I'm learning that. I'm gonna go to town here, and then plus, I don't know how many more I'm gonna get out of this. Oh wow, it's kind of a grippy little bugger. I don't like to fight with it at all because it just seems counterintuitive. Again, I want to remind myself to stay in front of the, as I wave sharp objects around, in front of the laminar flow hood as much as I can. But I got all sorts of air filtration going on in here. I'm really it's a little cooler in the garage. I turned off the infrared heater. Our electric bill came in. And again, that's the other thing about living in Alaska. I mean, it was just, it's unreal. But I think we subsidize the small villages. So we're paying a premium. I'm not complaining, I'm just explaining. So, here, let me give this thing for another round of sterilization. But yeah, so the bill came in, it was like massive, but I think I'm paying about $75 to operate that infrared heater up there. But it was so nice. It would actually turn the laminar flow hood into a thermal mass because it was warm it up and then it would kind of permeate out. Yeah, if you're just coming in, I got rye grain berries here, and this is so essentially my process. Now I'm hoping to get more and more. I take mycelium from a petri dish. I go to sterilized grain substrate, rye grain berries. From the rye grain berries, I extrapolate out to master's mix substrate, which is oak and soy hulls. Okay, and I did that, and I'll bring one of those out just in case there's anybody new. All right, so this one hasn't been mixed, right? But you can see I put the colonized rye grain up here. This is down here. It's the master's mix substrate. So I'll mix this in, and then from here I go to. And this bag is overfilled. So then once it colonizes majoritatively, this one might be a little early, but it was in the incubation. Goes into the incubation chamber. I let it colonize, and then I fold it in. Okay, so the filter patch is gone. This one was too much, so I had to tape the bottom. And I gave these actually 2 slits. And then this is where the oyster mushrooms. I'm sorry. This is a lion's mane, so this is where the lion's mane will come out. And and that's pretty much it, you know. I think, the fruiting tent, you know, the parameters of this, free air exchange is a big deal when they're fruiting, relative humidity. So, but I got a homemade humidifier over here and stuff. So, oh shit, let me see, pardon my language. Okay, I had it down to 1, so it's not too hot. That's the thing. I mean, this thing is, it's like it's not hot enough, and then it gets too hot. So, but I still have to stand here and let it cool. But yeah, I got a little nifty a little nifty thing, you know, if the humidity gets too low, it turns on the humidifier, and if it gets too high, which it never really does. I've got a fan that will take the air out. But that was beneficial today because I was throwing isopropyl alcohol around, and the fumes were getting to me a little bit. And yes. But okay, well, it's still pretty hot. I gotta wait a second. But it's really, excuse me, it's really just the workflow is the thing. I'm alone in the garage. Me in my garage. It used to be kind of a pit, but it's gotten a lot better since I moved out here. It's essentially my lab. Airflow, I've got an air filter over there. I've got 2 air filters over there. I've got a dehumidifier over there. The laminar flow hood is kind of crucial for this sort of activity. Clean as you go. You know, these plastic tables, apparently these aren't the best because they do have like crevasses. Where I'm at right now, this works pretty good. This works pretty good. I'm not actively selling mushrooms. I'm hoping to have some sort of like prototype sample for the chefs in town, maybe in the next like 2 months, just to like kind of let them know what's coming. We're in the middle of summer, all the cruise ships are in town, so excuse me. Everyone's kind of busy. I've been doing a lot of this YouTube stuff, but you know, I think what will be the menu? Lion's mane, oyster mushrooms, and then I'm thinking like a chestnut mushroom, which I've never done anything with. The Reishi, to be honest, I'm kind of doing that for show. Oh, son of a... See, this is where I get. This is where I look silly. Okay. And I'm loading this up. Again, this is the Reishi. It's such a slow colonizer. Yeah, and then truth be told, I'm kind of doing the Reishi for vanity reasons. It's just such a epic mushroom. I don't really see anybody like eating Reishi. Yeah, I'm gonna go to town. Why not? I'm here. Yeah, I'm pretty confident with the room. I mean, I have a lot of roommates. So this is kind of my domain. I've got a tiny room inside, but for the most part, I just kind of hang out in my garage. So I do have some storage that is boxed up. I'm going to put an epoxy flooring down. So everything might get put on pause for a minute, for a week or so, and that'll enable, it'll look fantastic, and then it's going to be a big thing though. So the epoxy, but then that'll also, in theory, let's go one more, why not? The only thing I'm risking now is contamination, which is, I guess, a big deal. But like I said, I don't really have general cleanliness. I've done way more with, well, maybe not way more, but I've done similar amounts with a lot less tools. And the laminar flow hood is a game changer. It's a game changer. This thing's, I'm spoiled. I'm privileged I'm laminar privileged. Okay, enough is enough. So, and I will, in fact, put that there. Put that there. I'm going to slide that over, but I'm going to put parafilm on that. And, you know, why not? You know, if it, keep it going. I kind of need to maximize my efficiencies right now. I would say mushroom farming gets cheaper. Oh gosh. Hold on. There we go. That's a good seal. And since I'm here, I'll mix this up. So I'll kind of move it around. You kind of, I like to be gentle. You know, mycelium has, but I kind of want to move it lower. And then, like I said, Reishi colonizes so slowly. It's like barely moving. So I anticipate it'll take, whereas oyster mushrooms will colonize, if this was oyster mushrooms, I would say it would colonize maybe in 10 days. With Reishi, I'm expecting like 6 weeks. It's profoundly particular. But good things come to those that wait. So this is sterilized rye grain with Reishi mushroom mycelium wedges. Quite a few, in fact. So it is going to be a fighter. Okay, and it's sealed. Boom. Feeling good about it. All right, so I'm done with the Reishi. I'm going to move on to blue oyster. I'll show you that mycelium as well. It's a little bit more puffy. You know, you can't over clean too, because it's like mycelium does not like anything. So I'll just hold my hands in front of the okay. So I've lowered the heat intensity of this guy, but I'm going to put my little thing in there again. I've got 2 more bags of rye grain berries. While I wait for that to heat, I might just throw a couple of these in the bin because it's a little, I don't want to, need to start, should have just had this thing open from the beginning, that way I could just slide everything back. And I still have to mix them, but whatever. And labeling. Oh gosh, I got a label. All right, so you see that? Maybe I'll just do a little bit of, yeah, so I'll get a marker out and I'll throw L's on them. That's all lion's mane right now. Oh, that's simple. So this is Reishi. Okay. Reishi, these will be blue. And the other grain spawn in there is Reishi as well. And then I don't know how much turnover I got going on with viewership, but I'm kind of bragging about this guy. So this is my blue oyster mushroom bucket. This is with alder, right? You see all that white mycelium? That's going to be going to town. I'm expecting to see this start to fruit here in the next couple of days. I've got this in the fruiting chamber if I would stop taking it out. That's exciting. I got 2 fruiting lion's mane. I'll have 7 total. Reishi's on the, here we go again. Did I overheat it? Okay. All right. So. Okay, so again, this is 15 psi for 90 minutes. This is a sterile grain spawn Okay, get in front of the laminar flow hood here. All right, so I'm gonna just hold that right there. So I'd like to get but if you can master the cultures, like a good, well-maintained culture bank makes this much more inexpensive, more efficient, and you're able to just kind of, oh wow, I really wrapped this one, didn't I? Okay. 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 So this is, I've kind of already gone at this guy, but this is blue oyster mushroom. That again, this is not advisable just to wave it around. A little bit more puffy. Not too concerned. It almost looks a little discolored, but that does not look like contamination. Comparative to the Reishi. Well, here, let's do a side by side. I'm getting brazen, but I'm trying to have a little bit of fun here. So here's the Reishi mushroom mycelium, and then here is the blue oyster mushroom mycelium. You can definitely see kind of the difference. But yeah, that thing's crawling on nothing, essentially. That's how aggressive that is. Okay, so again, the objective though is to stay clean. So this is kind of it for the dish here. So I'm going to probably throw in quite a few into this one and then the other one. So that'll be the project today, which is 3 bags of rye grain substrate, 5 grain to bulk substrate transfers. And yeah, I'm just glad to be back in business here. I had a bag shortage. I ran out of bags, and it was like everything. It got lost in the mail, and so I was like, "Do you understand?" Oh gosh, Kyle, man, yeah, I need to order quite a few. I should probably buy like 5 to 1,000 at a time, 500 to 1,000 at a time. Otherwise, it's a workflow thing. You know what I mean? I need the mushrooms at every single stage, all the way through first flush and second flush, while prepping, sterilizing, and then doing this whole rigmarole. So it's going to be quite the schedule, and I'm still getting things going around here. So this is kind of it's come a long way, but still a lot more to do. And then plus, if I redo the floor, that'll throw a wrench in it. But really, I think I've only gotten down to the garage since February, mid-February. And if you saw it then, you'd be impressed. So. All right, so I've got it. This is probably pretty hot. I mean, the risk here is if it's... Oh, come on. This is the process that I always feel kind of inept at. I mean... All right. Little wedges, little triangles, for no other reason. That's the shape that I learned to put them in. I don't think it matters, but again, blue oyster mushrooms, I think this is probably one of the more friendlier cultivators. The Reishi I got there, that's a little bit more, I don't want to say advanced, but it just seems everything takes longer, it's a little bit more particular about its substrate. I had plugs. I had mushroom plugs that I threw out into a stump outside. So that will be a thing. So I'm kind of, oh, well, all right, I got another one of these, don't I? So I was just getting crazy. Okay, so mycelium in there, one's hanging on. Oh. Lock her down. Impulse heat sealer. Oops, brought it up. Hold it down. Come on. Give me a click. All right, looks like a pretty decent seal. Kind of smell it a little bit. That's not good. I want to breathe. Oh, okay. So I'll throw the rest of this blue oyster mushroom mycelium in theory here to. Oh yeah, I'm down to the nitty-gritty here. I am confident though in this mushroom's ability. It is a survivor. Yeah, and all these will go into the incubation chamber. Okay, and that plate is donezo. No bits there, bits and pieces. Okay. All right, just get that out of my way. All right, I'm gonna turn that off. That thing is, especially if it's on setting 2, it's like dangerous. And what am I doing? I'm not even done yet. All right. Just double check that seal. Excellent. I'm going to gently move the wedges around down there. Okay. That is blue oyster mushroom. This one's blue oyster mushroom. And I'll probably, I know I got that one bucket in there for blue oyster mushrooms. Oh, there goes the light. But I'll probably start doing the blue oyster similar to the other, the lion's mane I'm doing, which will be out of bags. Okay. That's that. That's that. I still got some Reishi here. I'll actually show you how I put the parafilm on it. Let's see. I think I just do two blocks. Kind of improv-ing a little bit. No, so the climate for mushroom farming in Alaska is very positive. It's very easy now, within the last 8 months, to be recognized. Again, it does not take, they've eliminated almost all regulations and licensing requirements for selling, I forgot what the term is, but like dangerous foods. So, I mean, if you're gonna sell meat or something like that, there's obviously some more hoops to jump through. But if I'm selling lion's mane to like a restaurant, they don't really, not since HB 151. Okay, so I didn't do that too great, but that'll do for the time being. That's my Reishi. The blue oyster's gone, but I made 5 other ones of that. I made 5 other ones of this, so I've got a little bit of a stockpile. And I've got tons of lion's mane ones. That's kind of my primary product right now. Here, I'll mix. Doing pretty good on time. Let me wipe this down. Probably turn off the just a little bit of moisture on the bags from the pressure steam sterilizer. So just cleaning that up a little bit. I'm gonna turn that off. There's not really much of a need. All these are sealed now. Yeah, I'll just try to kind of work it in. Again, I try to avoid the filter patch. When my conditions in the tent weren't very good, they weren't really coming out of the slats that I would make because there wasn't consistent humidity or oxygen. So I was just still getting into the mode of it. So it would crawl up the bag, and I even had some fruiting out of the patch. So in theory, all right, and this might be, all right, you know, is that the best mix I could do? I don't know. Let me see if I can. Again, I'm trying to get it deeper because it has this propensity to just go to the surface and start getting a little too active on the surface before the entire bag's colonized. From this, though, this will be what I fruit out of. And so when it's caught, I'm going to put it in the incubation chamber like so. Once it fully colonizes, I'm capturing some air. I will wrap the bag around it. Slits, 1 or 2. I'm still trial by error there. And then, yeah, into the fruiting chamber, which is behind me. So this guy looks like he's been mixed. I believe he has. And then did I only bring 2 out? What's the deal? So I'll take these. I'm going to label them. Don't burn it. So this is blue oyster mushroom. Yeah, I'm starting to get more confident with things. You know what I mean? I kind of knew what I was doing, but you know, you never really truly feel like you know what you're doing, and I don't. Definitely got humility. So, all right. So these are the grain. This is the grain spawn. I got 2 blue oyster mushrooms. I got 1 reishi. Okay. I'm gonna probably need more incubation chambers. If I go into full-fledged production, like I said, you know, this is a seasonal place. Sitka, Alaska is a very seasonal, like the tourists are here now. By October, we'll be all alone. So they had a vote on tourism on a couple days ago. That was very That was contentious, so I went to that. But here's the thing, I mean, you get rid of tourism. I mean, it's like people come here to give us their money. I don't want to get too opinionated on it. But then, well, how do we grow? You know what I mean? Like that's the question. You have to grow. So, yeah. So here we go. So this is lion's mane substrate. This is lion's mane, colonized lion's mane grain substrate, and then I'm going to mix it in with the master's mix here. Over the course of the next, my experience has been about 2 weeks. It'll colonize the bag, and then I'll move it to the fruiting chamber. And then, you know, what I should do is I'll date these. I do need to get, because this is kind of the first batch where all circumstances are what I'm hoping for. So the climate in the tent is good. So this will be a good metric. This is good data for, you know, how much I can make in what timeline. What I need to do is I need to start weighing these though, because a lot of times, and I don't know if I mixed these correctly. For the most part, you kind of want to be gentle with mycelium. Whew. Whew. Okay. This one's got a ton. This will be very visually exciting, though. You know what I mean? I'm really excited about the oyster bucket in there. I think that'll look pretty cool. And then, like I said, the Reishi. I'm growing the Reishi for the vanity or the showmanship. I mean, I'll make something out of it, hopefully, but I don't see that as being, and it just takes forever. It is definitely like a high difficulty, kind of time-consuming thing, but all the more treasure. So let me just take this. I'm working out of the incubation chamber out here, so it's a tote and a tote with a water heater underneath, and it warms it up so that the bags colonize faster or at all. You know, I mean, like maybe they won't even. I gotta be. I hope I labeled them. Well, not everyone. And then here's the thing, do I stack them now? I mean, I'm pretty much at capacity. So I'll probably, you know, full-fledged production, I think I'll have 4 incubation chambers. I think that's fair. I don't know how long I've been out here. So I try to unplug everything when I do that. Before I go, well, let me show you the, so this is an example of a bag it's about to fruit, right? I got 2 slits on here. This is exactly what I was just mixing up. And so this is lion's mane. This will be coming out soon. I showed everybody a little bit before, but here's that blue oyster mushroom bucket. Okay, and so this will be fruiting. This will be blue oysters within the next couple of days. Stay tuned. All right, clean the tent this morning. Humidifier's doing well. Humidity's high. Free air exchange. I'll wipe everything down again. Unplug it all. But that's, this is my mushroom farm in Sitka, Alaska. So it's been a process. It's going to be more to come. I think I got the next 2 months. For the rest of the summer, it's going to be pretty action-packed. And so stay tuned. I always enjoy hearing from people. So stay out of trouble. But I'm going to bounce here. I gotta rest my back here. Be well. And I'm running out of batteries. Fair.